Hi, this is the second part of my story, and this is a miracle. When I was 7, I lived on a street called Incubation Street. It was called Labadee, and there was a lot of kids. They called it incubation because there was a lot of kids, a lot of babies being born. And every time a kid had a new toy, they would bring it out into the street, and we'd all want to play with it. Well, this day, a friend of mine brought a toy out. It was called the flying saucer. It had a plastic stick and this little flying saucer laid on top of a jutting part of the stick. And when you pulled a string, it flew up in the air. So this one kid went to grab it from her, and she pulled back. And because I was right beside her, she pulled back, and the jutted part went into my left eye. I ran home crying. My mother checked my eye. Back then, they didn't know a lot of what to look for, but I grew tired, and she put me to bed while she went to make supper. My dad was on the afternoon shift. When she came to get me for supper, she couldn't wake me. And when she looked into my eye, it was full of blood. Immediately, she called our Dr. McClister, and he came to my house. And he told my mom, we have to get her to emergency. My mom called my dad, and he was working at the railroad, which was close to the hospital. And actually, he met us at the hospital. Some neighbors came to take care of my brother and sister until family members came, and everybody was so good. The neighbors brought food. They took care of my brother and sister. They even cleaned our house because my parents had to be there. So the doctor, I was in the emergency, and Dr. McClister called in a eye specialist called Dr. McGrath. Dr. McGrath came and took one look at me and told my parents she has to have surgery right away. He said, I can't tell you if your daughter's going to live. So obviously, everybody, they were beside themselves with worry, and I went in for my first surgery. So woke up after maybe, 24 hours, once the bleeding had stopped, and my eyes were patched, both eyes. So this is a very long story, so I have to make it a short story. I had 2 other surgeries. One because I had a doll in her hand hit my eye, and I went back into a coma. Blood was pouring back into my brain. More surgery. More. Woke up and okay for a while. I rubbed my eye and back into surgery. I didn't go into a coma this time. I do remember waking in recovery, and I heard sucking noises where they were, sucking all the gunk from people who had their tonsils out, and I really thought they were going to come and get me and suck my tongue out. But the nurse, told me I was fine. I thought that wasn't going to happen. Just had a coughing spell. Anyway, so time went on, and Dr. McGrath and Dr. McClister told my parents that the other eye was being affected. Actually, I was blind in my left eye, and my right eye was going blind. The nurses, who were nuns at that time, started teaching me little projects to do while being blind to prepare me. And, you know, my dad would always hold up a coin, ask me what it was, and if I said it, he would give it to me. Obviously, I guessed right every time. I couldn't see them, but oh, I just guessed it right. Not really. He just gave me the penny. And the doctors did the same thing, and they knew, you know. So they started preparing my parents that I would have to go to a school to learn how to be blind. So one day, I would say 7 weeks into my injury, and now both eyes were completely blind. And my mother came and sat, as she normally did, always sat by my bedside. And she just took my hands and she told me the story of the Blessed Virgin who appeared to Bernadette in Lourdes, France, and that a stream of water appeared where the Blessed Virgin, appeared. And it was called Lourdes, and in Lourdes they built a grotto there, and the stream of water flowed freely, and that many people went there every year, every day, to for a pilgrimage and to hopefully have healings. So she told me my aunt's sister had gone to Lourdes and that she was allowed to take a small vial of water from Lourdes and bring it home. My aunt told her sister about me, and her sister gave her the one drop left in the vial to give to my mom. So my mom took it out of her purse and showed it to me. And my mom had learned from her Aunt Nellie to always pray over people, or to hold their hands, and for whatever healing or need they had. So my mom just said a simple prayer and asked Jesus to heal me and to use this healing water as a symbol, a sign of his power. And she took a little bit of the water and made the sign of the cross and prayed on both my eyelids. And then she put the last bit of the water on my tongue. She said another prayer of thankfulness. And I do remember she always said, "Your will be done." 20 minutes later, Mom left. About 15 minutes after she left, Dr. McGrath came to check me again. But this time it was different. I don't know why I didn't say I could see. But he held up the coin and I said it, and he said, "Okay." And they said, "Well, are you going to give me the coin?" And he said, "Yes." He held up another coin, a different coin. I said the coin. He said, "Elaine, can you see me?" I said, "Yes." Well, he said, he asked, "What color is my hair?" "Gray." "Okay. What color are my eyes?" I said, "Blue." So he called one of the nurses and had me taken to his office in the hospital, where I went through tests. And I remember him looking at the nurse, saying, I'm not believing this. But the nurse, she believed it, because I had said to her, "You are really pretty." And like, she was in her 30s, early 30s, and they were just like shocked. So they brought me back to my bed, and the doctor went right to the phone and called my house, my mom. And when my mom answered, he said, "Mrs. Balestrini?" She said, "Yes." He said, "This is Dr. McGrath." She said, "Yes." He said, "I don't know what happened, but when I checked your daughter this morning, she was blind in both eyes. I just checked her. Mrs. Balestrini, she can see. She has 20/20 vision in both eyes." My mom said she dropped the phone. She was praising God. Everybody, she kept screaming, "Elaine can see, Elaine can see." And there, there was like a lot of dancing, and then my mom remembered to pick up the phone, and Dr. McGrath said to her, "I'm not a believing man, Mrs. Balestrini, and I don't have a lot of faith in God, but this has thrown me." And he asked her what had happened. Was there anything? And she told him. She told him about the water from Lourdes. And he said, "Well, all I know is that a few hours ago, your daughter was blind in both eyes, and now she can see." So my miracle went through the whole hospital, and people kept coming to see the girl who was blind that had the miracle and could now see. And of course, my family and the neighborhood were all touched by the miracle. And I'm sure God used this to bring attention that He is alive and well and performs miracles. However He performed it. He performed it through the stream at the grotto of Lourdes, where His mother appeared. Jesus' mother appeared. She isn't the mother of God. She's the mother of Jesus. So, that's another thing I think of. So anyway, so I could see. And why? Why was I healed? For His purpose and His glory. And I give honor to Him, and I thank Him all the time, and don't take my sight for granted. I became a nurse, a wife, a mother, a writer. I've written many articles, and all my articles have given God glory. So that's the story of my miracle. I was blind, but now I see. So don't give up hope, people. Even if God didn't give me back my sight, even if the water of Lourdes didn't, it would be for His purpose. I would have survived. I probably still would have written. I wouldn't have been a nurse. I wouldn't have done a lot of things I did in my life. But God had a different plan for my life, and I thank Him for that. So, I thank you for watching. God bless you on this Good Friday and this Easter weekend. And yes, God is alive and well. Jesus has risen. And He did it all for me, and He did it all for you. Yeah. So, look into Him. Think about Him. He's not a God that is far away from you. He's close. He's by your side. So God bless you all. Thank you for watching and listening. Please like my videos and please subscribe. The subscribe is right there. And I thank you very much. And I think my next story will be about how my grandpa lost his faith. Okay. Happy Easter and happy Passover and happy holidays. And just remember, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home, and, celebrate Jesus. Okay, bye.